Hi, carbon and its compounds was very interesting chapter. As we discussed, we studied different varieties of carbon and its compounds. Hydrocarbons, saturated hydrocarbons, unsaturated hydrocarbons, and so on. Now let's look into a few questions. First, 1 mark questions. What is meant by a saturated hydrocarbon? A saturated hydrocarbon is in which valency of carbon is satisfied by only single bonds. In other words, in saturated hydrocarbons, no double or triple bonds are present. Example, methane, ethane, etc. Next, what happens when a small piece of sodium is dropped into ethanol? Hydrogen gas will be evolved. As you can see in the equation, C2H5OH plus Na gives C2H5ONa plus H2. Sodium ethoxide is formed with liberation of hydrogen gas. This is a peculiar reaction. Next, write the electron dot structure of ethane molecule C2H6. As you can see in the picture, how to write this? One carbon atom has valency of 4. The 2 carbon atoms come closer, sharing a pair of electrons between them, and a single bond is formed in between them. Total 6 hydrogen atoms shares with 6 total valence electrons of both the carbon atoms as shown here. So total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sharing spots are here. So 7 single bonds are formed. This is the electron down structure of ethane. Short answer type questions, 2 marks. First one. Write the name and molecular formula of an organic compound having its name suffixed with ol and having 2 carbon atoms in the molecule. With the help of a balanced chemical equation, indicate what happens when it is heated with excess of concentrated sulfuric acid. So, with 2 carbon atoms and having suffix ol, when 2 carbon atoms, the word root is eth. Suffix ol means eth and ol. ETH plus ANE plus ol, which is giving ethanol. It is the compound. The formula is C2H6O or CH3CH2OH. Ethanol forms ethene when heated with concentrated H2SO4. This is the dehydration reaction. As you can see, this is the chemical equation, chemical reaction that is taking place here. Next, what is a homologous series? Which 2 of the following organic compounds belong to the same homologous? CH3, C2H6, C2H6O, C2H6O2, CH4O. As we all know, homologous series is a series of organic compounds which is having same functional group and similar chemical properties. Each member of the series differ by a CH2 unit. For example, homologous series of alkanes have methane, ethane, propane, butane, etc. each differing by CH2 unit. Homologous series of alcohols have methanol, ethanol, propanol, butanol, etc. each differing by a CH2 unit. So that is a homologous series. In this question, among these given things, C2H6O, C2H5OH, that is C2H5OH, and CH4O, which is CH3OH, belong to same homologous series, which is methanol and ethanol differing by a CH2 unit. Next, write the names and molecular formula of 2 organic compounds having functional group suffixed with oic acid. With help of balanced chemical equation, explain what happens when any one of them reacts with sodium hydroxide. So, as the question says, the oic acid suffix, the compound is methanoic acid and ethanoic acid. The formula of methanoic acid is HCOOH or CH2O2. The formula of ethanoic acid is C2H4O2 or CH3COOH. When acid reacts with sodium hydroxide, sodium salt and water is formed. It is a simple acid-base reaction, neutralization reaction that gives salt and water. As you can see here, ethanoic acid and sodium hydroxide reacts together to form CH3COONA, which is sodium ethanoate and H2O, water. Short answer type question, 3 marks. Out of HCl and CH3COOH, which one is weak acid and why? Describe on the basis of an activity to support your answer. As you all know, HCl is very strong. So similarly, CH3COOH acetic acid is weaker because it will not dissociate completely. HCl dissociates completely to H plus and Cl minus ions in aqueous solutions. As an activity, adding zinc metal in HCl and CH3COOH, hydrogen gas is immediately evolved when zinc metal is added to HCl, but it is not immediately evolved when it is added to acetic acid. As an alternative method, if we use pH paper, the color of pH paper will be dark red in case of HCl and it will be a light red in case of acetic acid because CH3COH is weak. Strong acid will give more darker color, weak acid will give more lighter color. Next question, write a chemical equation in each case to represent following types of chemical reactions of organic compounds: oxidation, addition, substitution. As we have studied, these are the most simpler addition reactions or oxidation or substitution reaction that you are mainly focused on organic compounds. For oxidation, let's mainly take a look at oxidation of ethanol. Ethanol is oxidized to ethanoic acid, CH3CH2OH plus 2O giving CH3COOH plus H2O. This is done in presence of alkaline KMnO4, which is an oxidizing agent. Addition reaction is simply addition of hydrogen to double bonds. As you can see, CH2 double bond CH2 plus H2 is giving ethane. Ethene is converted to ethane. Substitution reaction. One atom replaces another atom. It is simply an example of methane and chlorine gas. CH4 plus Cl2 in the presence of sunlight gives methyl chloride CH3Cl plus HCl. 5 marks questions. Give reason for the following. Element carbon form compounds mainly by covalent bonding. Diamond has a high melting point. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity. Acetylene burns with sooty flame. Kerosene does not decolorize bromine while cooking oils do. Let's answer one by one. The first question, carbon forms compound mainly by covalent bonding. It is because carbon is a tetravalent compound. It's a tetravalent element. It has 4 valence electrons. It is impossible to gain 4 electrons or lose 4 electrons. It will give rise to an unstable condition. So, carbon has only one option to share its electrons. So, only covalent bonding is possible. Diamond, due to its strong covalent bonds and compact structure, makes it highly difficult to melt soon. So, it has a high melting point. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity because it has free electrons in the graphite because each carbon is linked to 3 more carbon atoms, where 1 electron is become extra and it is capable of flowing throughout the structure freely. This free flowing of the electron conducts electricity. Acetylene burns with a sooty flame. It is due to high percentage of carbon and due to incomplete combustion. Kerosene does not decolorize bromine water while cooking oils do. Kerosene oil is a mixture of saturated hydrocarbons, therefore does not decolorize bromine water. Only unsaturated hydrocarbons decolorize bromine water. Cooking oils are unsaturated. Next question. What are the hydrocarbons? Write the name and general formula. Saturated hydrocarbons, unsaturated hydrocarbons, and draw the structure of 1 hydrocarbon of each type. How can an unsaturated hydrocarbon be saturated? So, hydrocarbons are nothing but compounds of carbon and hydrogen together. Saturated hydrocarbons are those with single bonds. Unsaturated hydrocarbons are those with double and triple bonds. The general formula of a saturated hydrocarbon is CnH2n plus 2, where N is the number of carbon atoms. They are commonly called alkanes, as you can see here. Methane CH4 is the simplest alkane. Alkenes general formula CnH2n. Alkynes general formula CnH2n minus 2 are the unsaturated hydrocarbons. As you can see here, ethene and ethine are the double bonded and triple bonded atoms, compounds. Unsaturated hydrocarbons can be hydrogenated to form saturated hydrocarbons.